Okay guys, are you ready for me to tell you where we're going today?
Yeah.
I'm taking you to Kings Island.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't even know what it is, but it's like a bigger Coney Island. You ready?
Yeah.
Kings Island is a beloved amusement park in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they're celebrating their 50th year anniversary this year in 2022. Today in this video, we want to look at the top rides in Kings Island for kids. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Eric Sztanyo from Keller Williams Realty and TeamStanyo.com, where we are helping you find your home and strengthen your family. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome, Sztanyo Klanyo. We have the #1 YouTube channel in all of Cincinnati for all things real estate, whether you're looking to buy or sell a home. But this video is not about buying or selling a home. This is more about living in Cincinnati and all the fun things that you get to do here. If you guys don't know anything about me, I'm a father of 5 kids. I have 4 boys and 1 girl, ages ranging from 11, 9, 6, 4, and 2. And this year for Christmas, I bought our kids for the first time Kings Island Gold Passes. And so we're going and having a ton of fun as a family. And I'm trying to figure out like the ways to hack the system and have the best experiences at the park itself. So beyond the top 5 kids rides that I'm gonna share with you in this video, stay tuned for the end because I've got 3 pro tips as a dad that are gonna make your experience at Kings Island fantastic. All right, let's get into these top 5 rides. And as you guys know, what we're looking at specifically is the Planet Snoopy area of Kings Island. So this is kind of the kiddie land. It's been different things in the past. It's been the Hanna-Barbera land. It's been, let's see, what's the other one? I think Rugrats over the years, but right now it's all Peanuts and Snoopy themed rides. And I've got to just say, guys, I haven't been to the park in a number of years, and coming back, I am really impressed right now of just the way the park is run, how clean it is, the employees that are working. I mean, typically when you think of an amusement park, you think of high school kids who like don't care to be there and it's poorly run.
You know, we're just, it's the last weekend of the season. Just getting ready for winter, closing up shop.
Whoever's managing the park right now is doing a wonderful job. Service is really high, the park's really clean. We're really enjoying our experiences there. Now, I will probably make different videos for other rides in the park or reviewing the water park as well. But since I've spent quite a bit of time already in Planet Snoopy, this is the first video I wanted to make. So let's just jump right into the top 5 rides, in my opinion, in Planet Snoopy. All right, number 5 is the Kite Eating Tree. Yes, it's a very weird name, but this is a great ride. It's kind of like a mini drop zone. If you know that ride at Kings Island, it's a huge tower with like a donut on it and just a straight free fall. This is very similar to that, except you're kind of on like bungee cords. So on Kings Island website, they have a scale of the thrill level of a ride. This one comes in at 3 bars. And for kids, you only have to be 36 inches tall to ride this ride. And it's easy for parents to go on the ride with them. This is a good one that's approachable even for young kids, and you can ride it as an adult with them to give them a little bit of a thrill. So I love this ride. It's easy to ride with your kids. It's not too hard on your body as an adult either, which is fun, but it gives kids that experience of looking up and being higher over everything and then having that drop where you're getting those tickle bellies and having a good time. This comes in at number 5 on my list. All right, number 4 on the list for top Kings Island rides for kids is the Woodstock Gliders. Now, I've got to say, I've got a sentimental spot for the gliders. I remember being a young kid and going to my first kind of amusement park fair type atmosphere and going on a ride very similar to this, where you're basically going around in a circle, you're in kind of a glider, so to speak, but you have control over the wind a little bit of steering this big rudder sail basically as you're flying through the air. I love this one for young kids. Again, it's approachable for them. And the other reason I like it is they get to feel it. They get to have some control in the ride. It's not just a ride where you're sitting there doing nothing. You get to actually move the rudder from side to side and feel like you're moving through the air. It's just a really, really fun ride, enjoyable for kids, and you don't have to be that tall to ride it by yourself as a kid. So if you have a younger, shorter child, you can ride the ride with them, and your older child can ride the ride by themselves. The other thing that's great about this ride is it's often not a very large line because there's a lot of different cars, so to speak, to get into. The line goes pretty fast. When you're going to a park, you're obviously trying to ride as many rides as you can. This one to me, pretty high on the thrill level, enjoyable, not too jerky or anything like that. It's just fun and you're gonna get into it really fast. All right, now we're getting to the top 3 rides in Planet Snoopy, and I've gotta say, these are all pretty close and they're all very good rides. But number 3 on my list is the Flying Ace Aerial Chase roller coaster. Yes, it's an actual roller coaster. You have 2 in the area. You have the Beastie, which is now called the Woodstock Express. That one's wooden, kind of rattles you around a little bit. This one is a roller coaster where you're sitting down and the track is above you, so your legs are hanging, and it's much smoother. It's a really fun ride, and this is probably gonna be your child's maybe first roller coaster ever. It's approachable for them. It's really fun. It's fast. On the thrill level, it's a 4-bar thrill level ride. You have to be 46 inches to ride this as a child. All of these rides in Planet Snoopy are gonna be somewhere between your 3-year-old kid probably or younger, because you can take your 1 and 2-year-old and ride even the lower thrill rides, up to probably like 6, 7 years old. You might have some kids older than that who wanna ride them for sentimental reasons. But I will say this ride, the Flying Ace Aerial Chase, my 6-year-old's like, yeah, I wanna ride that. Whereas my 4-year-old, she's not quite old enough to, she's not quite tall enough to, she wants to ride it, but she's not there yet. So probably you're looking at like 5, 6, 7 years old as a sweet spot for this ride. Number 2 on my list for favorite rides at Kings Island for kids is the Race for Your Life Charlie Brown log ride. This is a classic, an oldie, but a goodie. And I got a few tips on this. The reason I really like this ride is it's like you get in this log and there's no buckle, there's no like thing that's coming down. So you kind of, it feels a little bit wild and dangerous, which I think is great, that it brings that excitement factor up for you as a kid. You're like, oh my gosh, I can like fall out of this thing. And then the whole tube is like a big metal track and it's a pretty long ride. So once you get in it, you're having fun, you're knocking the walls, it makes this big metally clunky sound. It's really fun to do with your kids. If you have a littler kid, they can sit on your lap, whereas your older, taller kid can sit by himself in the front or the back, however they want it. This ride is perfect for those hot summer days at Kings Island because you're gonna get a little bit wet, you're gonna cool yourself down, but I will say this, on those hot days, the line tends to get really, really long. And so I have a few good experiences on this ride that if you can do it when the weather's a little bit cooler, or maybe after a rain, or even the first time I took my older boys, this was several years ago now, but we did it as like the last ride of the night and everyone was gone and nobody really wanted to do it. We rode that thing probably like 6, 7, 8 times in a row because there was no line. It kind of lets you out. You just got to circle back and do it again. So if you can knock it out several times in a row, this has happened to me a few times with this ride. If the weather's just a little off or if the line is lower, it's just so much fun. And my kids got off, they're like, let's go do it again. And the one year we did that, we did it as the fireworks were going off over the Eiffel Tower. So we're going down the log ride on the big splash, fireworks are going off. Just a magical, great memory moment. And the number 1 ride at Kings Island for kids, in my opinion, is Surf Dog. Okay, Surf Dog is awesome. It's literally like this giant surfboard / skateboard that it's like a mini roller coaster and you're on a wave and you go kind of up and down and you come back around and wave and it rotates as you go. You can ride this with your kids. It's super smooth. It's super fun. There's a pretty good thrill level. If they're on the side and they're looking up, it's the highest they've ever been. They're looking over to the side. You're getting that great tickle belly. It's just a fantastic ride. I could ride this one over and over again. This one to me stacks up with the rides in the whole park, especially if you are like, if you have back issues and you can't do a lot of the like rough roller coasters. This one's just really smooth and you're gonna get those huge smiles from your kids. It also loads a lot of people on and off at one time, so the line moves quick. This is my favorite ride for kids at Kings Island. Those are my top 5 rides. Really quick on some honorable mentions that I didn't put on this list. Number 1, the Linus Launcher, really fun ride because you're laying down on your belly, you're kind of flying through the air. I like that one. Bumper cars are a classic. Kids love, they don't know how to drive. They're probably just gonna spin around in circles, but they love crashing into things, so that's always a fun one. And my third honorable mention, which may get some heat in the comments, leave in the comments below what your favorite rides are, is the Boo Blasters on Boo Hill. Now that is a very, very fun ride. It's air conditioned, which is key, where you're kind of riding a ride and you're shooting these ghosts, but I will say, it is dark, like really scary. There's this character called Boocifer, like instead of Lucifer, it's Boocifer. There's like very like evil eyed skeletons with red eyes. So it's a risk if you take your young kid in there. They may have nightmares afterwards. You might like the air conditioning. If you like the scary thing and all that, great. For me, it's not on my top 5 rides, especially for younger kids. So those are the top 5 rides. Really quickly, I want to give you my top 3 tips as a dad of 5 of how to make your day at Kings Island amazing. This is beyond going on like nights and weekends or after a rain, that's a pro tip for sure in terms of getting a lot of rides in at an amusement park. But specifically for you parents with kids and young children, I want to give you my top 3 tips. All right, number 1 tip is short visits. If you can do it and you're not traveling here for like an all-day weekend excursion, but you have the gold passes or a season pass to Kings Island, just go in shorter intervals. Go in 2 to 3 hours. That's it. That's all you need to do. Try to find those off times. You don't need to make a full day of it because that's when everyone breaks down and is tired and is whiny. You don't want to do that. Just give your wife a break, or maybe your wife can go and you can take a break. Take a couple kids. I have 5 kids. So just don't get overwhelmed by the kids where it's impossible. Just go for a little bit at a time and have fun and then leave. And then leave while you're on a high note and then be like, that was awesome. We should do it again. Yes. Plan the next trip a little bit down the road. Second tip, cram your kids' mouths with food before you go. I don't care if they say they're not hungry. Do whatever you can. Give them a little protein, a little peanut butter, some vegetables, something good right before you get into the park. I always pack a snack so that when we drive there, right when we get out of the van, right when we're heading into the park, I'm like, okay, eat this, drink this, so that they have a full belly. I mean, one of the number one things that's going to cause your kids to break down and you have an unenjoyable time is they're hungry, they're tired, they're hot, they're whining. So try to get ahead of that by eating early and often. And then before you feel that hunger, let's say you're there for a few hours, whether you're buying something in the park or as the cheap parents who pack things, you guys know who you are. You're that too. You got the cooler in the van. You're going to walk out of the park, eat another lunch, and then go back in. Do that too, but make sure your kids' bellies are full so they're not breaking down because they're hungry. All right, third Kings Island pro tip from a dad of 5 is this: train on contentment. Train on gratitude. Kings Island, or any place that's like desired and built for pleasure and entertainment and to spoil your kids. I actually, as a dad, try to use those opportunities to say, hey, look, and this is what I actually do. I actually give a pep talk to my kids before we enter the park and say, hey, I'm looking to have a lot of fun. I'm excited we're here. I hope you have a ton of fun, but here's the deal. And I make a deal with them. I make an arrangement that says, if you begin to whine or complain, we're gonna leave. So as long as the kids are being thankful and grateful, we get to keep doing rides, right?
Yeah.
But if we ever get to have bad attitudes, or we cry a lot, or we're not grateful, that's when we leave, right?
Yeah.
So we practice. All right, let's go do another ride. Ready?
Yeah.
If I hear whining, if I hear complaining, if I hear like, oh, this line is too long, we're just gonna go. But if you are thankful and happy and content and you're enjoying the time here, we're gonna stay here as long as we can and have a good time. Is it a deal? We make the deal, we shake on it, and now, because your kid is being, I mean, there's so much stuff, right? There's like food and sights and rides, and everybody's got something that they don't have, and that could be a terrible experience because that can be jealousy and coveting and breaking down. Then you leave, you spend all this money for this amazing park, and then you leave frustrated and everyone's mad at each other. No. You got to get in front of that as a parent and say, we're gonna have a great time and we're gonna enjoy these rides. I'm not gonna buy you toys. We're not gonna play arcades. I'm not gonna buy you food. Like, give them that expectation ahead of time and say, if you're thankful though, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna ride these rides. We're gonna go home. We're gonna come back and do it again if you're content. So that's my pro tip number 3. All right, guys, we've made a bunch of videos on this channel about why it's awesome to live in Cincinnati, like why the Reds games are great, some of the best parks in Cincinnati. I hope you enjoyed this video about Kings Island and the top 5 rides there. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you more content about what it's like to live in Cincinnati. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.